Hi, this is Greg McIntyre, and I'm here with my law partner,
Brendan Bagley, good to be here with you, sir.
and we're going to talk about automobile trust today. We can call it an auto trust, okay?
I
And
like that.
what is an auto trust? Why is it important? And how can it help you with your estate planning, especially in protecting your other assets and limiting liability that extend to those assets? This is something that Brenton and I have discussed extensively back and forth. This is something that I've continually discussed with clients over the years, and we're very proud to bring you the auto trust. So, Brenton, why might it not be a good idea to put an automobile into a traditional trust with the rest of your assets in that trust, like your home and retirement assets, other things?
Yeah, vehicles. If you're driving down the road in a vehicle, and this is likely to happen to anybody because of the way that the world is, and the way that traffic is, you could end up getting into a wreck. And if you were to get into a wreck and cause damages to another individual that your insurance doesn't cover, or even possible, damage that your insurance could cover, you could be subject to being sued. And if you're sued, they're going to sue, the driver and the owner of the vehicle. And if that owner of the vehicle is your trust, it could impute that liability that, that comes with that vehicle and that wreck to the trust. And if the trust houses your home, your money, your savings, things like that, that could be very, very dangerous. One of the reasons why you would do a trust is to protect everything in that legal entity, in that pot that you've created. So putting a vehicle in there could, subject all of that to risk. So you want to separate those two things. But the issue that comes with is if you leave the vehicle out of the trust, then that vehicle could be subject to the probate process. So that's something that we are trying to solve with the auto trust.
So what you're saying is an auto trust would allow you to add beneficiaries to your vehicles. Now, is that just vehicles, or could I place an RV that I use to travel across the country or go on vacation with? Could it be within the trust?
Any motor vehicle that has a title associated with it from Tag and Title Office can be put in the auto trust.
Okay. So any motor vehicle that has a title, could that be a boat?
Could be a boat.
Could it be a pull behind trailer that
Could
has
be a trailer.
Okay.
That's right.
It could be a mobile home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But really, with a mobile home, usually those are sitting stationary, right? They're rarely mobile. So that's not my huge concern. Our huge concern is that an automobile is a deadly weapon.
It is.
It is a deadly weapon. I mean, and if you go out and have a horrific auto accident, I hope you don't. But if you do, and it results in being your fault, and you hurt others that are in another vehicle, maybe multiple people, then my concern is the minimum limits car insurance that you carry in North Carolina is 3060. That's 30,000 for an individual that's hurt. That's 60,000 cap total, even if there's a minivan or a van with 8 people in it that are hurt or killed. $60,000 max. And that is not going to cover you and your liability. So when that insurance maxes out that you have, if you have minimum limits, even if you go to 100, 300, you could easily top out above that amount if you hurt multiple people badly in a wreck. So if you're home and you have other monies and investment accounts in a trust along with your car that you used to ram another vehicle, right, on accident, but maybe, it ends up being that it's your fault, right? You disobeyed some traffic law, or were going too fast, or, something like that. Then what insurance didn't cover on your car would bleed over and put the other assets in the trust at risk of your house being collected or sold, or the investment accounts being attached, right? And having to use that money and those assets to pay for that accident. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. That's why I always recommend not putting an automobile inside a trust with other assets, because it's a deadly weapon, subject to a lot of liability, which is why you're required to have liability insurance by law in North Carolina. So what we came up with, this is another reason to have your other property in trust away from that automobile as well.
Right.
The trust is a separate layer of liability protection. You may have auto insurance on a car that's outside of a trust, but the trust separates your liability for your home, your other assets that are inside of the trust. And that's extremely important, especially today in our litigious society, right? Where you get sued at the drop of a hat, whether you're at fault or not sometimes. But I don't want to see you get hurt and lose everything or sacrifice assets because you just need to drive. And we all have to drive, right? To get from point A to point B in this country. We don't live in an old style European village where everything was built around walking and horses and buggies, right? Our cities are built around the automobile, and it's a big country. So that's a reality that we live in. So Brenton, thank you for our conversations that we've had up to this point about the auto trust, and coming to the point where we say, hey, it would be nice to be able to provide a scaled down trust, right? That's a reasonably priced trust just to house automobiles. So
that's right.
We really protect people. So we're putting things in boxes. We have a box over here of liability protection and beneficiaries added to your home and other assets. Then we have a box over here that's totally separated, where we contain liability and we add beneficiaries to your automobile.
Yeah, and some folks were trying to add beneficiaries to their automobile by either putting it in trust or using an MBR 620 form, which is a legitimate form you can use through the tag and title office. However, that makes someone a joint owner with right of survivorship, meaning you'll avoid probate with that vehicle, but what you're doing is making that person a joint owner on that vehicle. So, you don't want to perhaps sacrifice the 100% ownership in your vehicle, or maybe give someone other than your spouse ownership interest in your vehicle, or make some sort of gift. That could be an issue, right? So
here's a question for you, Brenton.
Yeah.
That you just raised. In the trust, with say your children as beneficiaries, or a child as a beneficiary of that vehicle to automatically receive it, you contain liability and ownership to yourself.
That's right.
If I make someone a joint owner with rights of survivorship on a vehicle, am I potentially subjecting them to liability if I have a wreck?
Absolutely. And they're potentially subjecting your vehicle to liability if they get sued for anything. Okay. Or if they get divorced or whatever, right? Go bankrupt, that asset that you've given them an interest in could be subject.
It's on the table. Yeah.
On the table.
Yeah. So we're looking out for your best interests. This is an evolutionary process for us as it is for you. As we evolve and develop new legal tools, we want to let you know about those. That's what we're doing. As the law changes, we want to let you know about that. We promise, it's our commitment to keep you updated and educated on the cutting edge of estate planning and elder law. I never articulate that correctly. Elder law. Okay. People ask me my email address. I'm like, mcelderlaw.com. They're like, what? mcelderlaw.com. Because as a Southerner, when I say law, it comes out somewhere around LAWR or something.
Yeah, or law. Yeah.
Law. So anyway, this is Boss Hawks. No. Greg McIntyre, estate planning and elder law attorney. And Brenton, thank you so much for being with us today. Brenton's my law partner, extremely smart, educated, LLM and tax attorney, estate planning and elder law attorney that really, really helps me jam on some of these projects that we do. Hey, this is the Elder Law Report. We promise to come to you every week with new and exciting information. And we're going to put this out on our YouTube channel, which you can reach by going to our website at mcelderlaw.com.
That's right.
And click on the Elder Law TV tab. And we're going to put this out on our podcast, which just received over 100,000 listens. I believe last week. I'm extremely excited about that. It's a huge goal. I've been doing the podcast for a minute, and it took me a while to build up that listener following and just continue to do it. But like anything, water carves the rock, and the Grand Canyon didn't develop over a day's time. It takes time, right? So we will continue to bring you that consistent information. So that's going to be on the podcast for the Elder Law Report, which you can receive by going to Apple Podcast, the Google Play Store or Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and many other platforms, okay? Or you can go to our website, mcelderlaw.com, and click on the Elder Law Radio tab. We'll also put this out all over our social media, and just want to thank everybody out there who's a client, their families, and who listens and enjoys our content. So if you need to contact us, please drop us a line at info@mcelderlaw.com and let us know what you would like to hear about, what you think about us. If you have a question about estate planning or elder law, we'd be glad to help. And if you need to get with us, we are offering a free consult to you via this platform. Or via this media, we are saying, hey, we'll give you a free consult. We'll have our team reach out and set that up. Just drop us a line at mcelderlaw.com. And thank you so much for listening. Brent, you got anything else?
That's all.
That was my extremely too long sign off. Okay. I got to shorten that down to like 15 seconds. Okay. All right. See you guys. See you next week. Thanks, Brent.